Last Sunday, I played in my first Digimon webcam tournament, and actually, I ended up placing third. The tournament was on the DigiBros Discord server, and if you've never watched a DigiBros video, they provide excellent content when it comes to Digimon TCG, and they give a lot of deck lists, and actually give a lot of inspiration to the deck you're about to see. So it was a round-robin tournament with having 6 people in it, including myself. So I played 5 matches, and in the 5 matches, I ended up going 3-2. I ended up playing Imperialdramon Blue, and I ended up actually taking 3rd place, which not too bad for your first tournament. So for the rest of the video, I'm going to break down my my deck, show you my deck list, and then I'm also going to talk about each matchup I had during it, and things I could have did better, things I could have did worse, and we'll go on. So without further ado, let's get right into this. So to start off this deck list, I'm actually going to start off with the eggs. I run 4 of the Demi-Vmon, which the inheritable is if your Digimon has jamming, you draw a card once per turn. And then you got to play 5 eggs, especially because you never know what you're going to run into. Is always good. So Upamon's just the good 5, the 5th egg, because, you know, it's not as consistent as the Demi-V. That's why you would run for the Demi-V instead of for the Upamon. But getting the same, pretty much the same effect, but only if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digi evolution sources, you can draw a card. Okay. So now we're going to go into the rookies. I played 14 rookies, and if you're playing blue, as you're with your eggs, blue eggs, you're definitely going to want to play for the Vmon. 4 Vmon is a must, especially because it's just such a good card, because it's a level 3 jammer. So, you know, it's not going to die security if you attack, which is always a bonus, you know, unless option cards. But next, I play 3 of the Gabumon. This Gabumon on play, you draw a card. He's pretty much a constant draw card. You either or Digimon for free, get a card, or play him for 3 and get a card. I like running 3 of him because it's just a constant +1 card, so you can't beat that. Next, I'm gonna play 7 of the 2-drop vanilla blues. They're pretty much the same. That's why you just kind of lump them all together. But they're great for choking players. They're great for if you don't have limited memory and you're trying to get some Digi evolve and stuff quick. It's fast. It's easy. They're cheap. They have no inheritable. They're just they're a must. A 2-drop vanilla is a must in any deck. And this one, I possibly could cut one of the Gabumon, go to 2 and do 8. But I've had no problem with this, so I don't feel like changing it. But I also just really like that card, so I like to play 3 of it, but 4 was too much. Okay, so next is the level 4s. I play 12 level 4s, and in the 12, you gotta play for the X-Vmon. His ability is when Digivolving, you can unsuspend a Digimon that is level 4 or lower, and that really works well. Let me show you. That works extremely well with the Vmon. This is a very standard play, but if you can do first turn, get him out, and then just do a 2-drop, pass it over the turn, and then on your turn you attack with him, and then you X-Vmon the 2-drop to restand him again to either as a defensive move or to be able to attack again. Yeah, it's just a great card overall because it's so offensive and it's also defensive, so you can't really beat that. It's just a good one. And my buddy once said, if you can win a game with a card and you're playing 3 of it, you need to play 4. You need to find the room, because if it can win you games, play it at 4. Simple as that. Next, I play 4 of the Gorillamon. He is a 1 to evolve vanilla 6K. It's just good, you know. Honestly, I just think every deck should, if you have the ability to run a 1 of evolution, run it. So Gorillamon's the blue one, and it's just a must. It's a must to play a 4 because it's just, especially because for this deck, I don't play a lot of inheritables, so it doesn't particularly matter. There's some decks you want the inheritable, so you might not play as many, but I personally believe 4 of any 1 to evolve level 4 is a must. Next, to play with the overall theme of the deck, we're going to play 2 Frigimon. So I play 2 of the Frigimon. I think it's good. It's a great jammer. You know, jammers are always great, and it plays with the overall theme of the deck. But I mean, honestly, it's just a jammer. You want to have at least 2 of it. I ran 4. I thought about running 4, but it kind of felt a little clunky. I'd rather have 4 of him, of X-Beamon, than 4 of Frigimon. And then last of the level 4s is 2 blockers. Every deck, in my opinion, needs a blocker because they're just useful, but the whole scheme of this deck and what you're trying to do, you don't want 4 of it, you don't want even 3 of it because you see it too much. It's very situational when you need it, because one thing I've learned from this deck, you're either winning by attacking real quick and crazy, or you brick hard and you lose. It's very, like, I wouldn't say it's 50-50 because you can make it pretty consistent, and I do pretty well with it. Every time I was playing in the tournament, the 2 Grizzlymon weren't going to save me for the win, and even if I had 4 Grizzlymon, would not have saved me for the win. I was losing regardless. I think 2 is good because the other ones have so much more benefit to the deck. And one thing I'm starting to realize is if you're doing cards, if they're not fully benefiting the overall plan of the deck, you don't want to run a lot of it. Because sometimes you need to do cards like that, but most of the time you're going to want to run very few, 2 to 1, if it's a good card but doesn't technically work with the deck. But I'll get into that a little more later. So next is level 5s. Level 5s, if you're playing Imperialdramon, these 4 are a must. You're going to play Imperialdramon. He's a jammer and is inheritable. If the Digimon above it has Imperialdramon in the name, you get to restand him on your turn when attacking. So if you have him underneath your Imperialdramon, you can attack twice per turn, which kind of the overall theme of this deck. You want to try to attack as many times as you can, win games quick. That's mainly, you're really aggressive with this deck. Next, you're going to play, if you're playing Imperialdramon, you're also going to be playing Dino B. Pretty much the same thing without an inheritable. Only difference is this one is piercing and jamming. So it's great for when you're playing and they have rested ones. You can swing over blockers with it and still do a security check. Overall, he's great. He just doesn't have that inheritable, which makes him... He's good. He's a great card. But, you know, this one's definitely a little better, in my opinion. But that's me. Last card for the level 5s. It's a tech card. It is Shakumon. Shakumon's whole plan is to end Rookie Rush. And I thought I'd play Rookie Rush. And spoilers, I didn't play a single one of them. This card's really good when you play against Rookie Rush, but if you don't, he kind of just sits in your hand. He's pretty much just there, and he doesn't do much for you. His ability, I didn't explain this, is on your opponent's turn, if they don't have any Digi-Evolution, they do security -1, so they can't attack you. That's kind of the scheme of it. It's a great for stopping Rookie Rush, but you know, at 3 to evolve, it's a yellow card, but on your turn it's treated as blue, so you can still technically evolve Imperialdramon over it, so it's not a technical brick, but you don't really want to Digi-evolve over it, because the whole point of it is to sit there and just stop attacks. I like this card, but with what I dealt with, and I've played this deck before the tournament a good amount, and I didn't really change it very much. The only time it was useful is against a Rookie Rush, and like, in my opinion, tech cards are nice and they're good to throw in your deck, you know, to counter certain decks, but or just add something to your deck that, you know, changes it up a little bit. But the thing is, I'm starting to realize if your tech cards also don't help you really benefit your overall goal of what your deck is, they kind of just sit there if you're not playing that situation where they're good at. Like you're playing any other deck, this card stinks. It's just there. I mean, it could possibly save you a round, but if you're playing anyone else, they're just going to Digivolve whatever's on there. They don't just hard play. I mean, Megazoo does, and so does Rookie Rush. So technically it could work against that, but a lot of the Megazoo cards already do security +1, so it would just do 1 check. I mean, you would stop it for 1, but I don't know. It's one of those cards where I think you can add better ones into the deck, but if your meta is a shit ton of Rookie Rush, put this card in there, because it absolutely slaps against Rookie Rush, but against everything else, it kind of just caca-poo-poo. Alright, now for the bread and butter of this deck, and why you came here, or why you even play this deck, everything leading up to this magic moment. Imperialdramon Dragon Mode. The blue one. The green one's alright, but the blue one, in my opinion, way better. The blue one, his effect is on Digivolve, you get to restand everything with jamming. So if we go back to our excellent level 5 Pyoldramon, the idea is you have Pyoldramon out, you swing with him, you attack security. Then you Digivolve. With that, then you Digivolve over top and get Imperialdramon Dragon Mode. He restands. Then you can attack and then use his effect to gain a memory, or not gain a memory, use his effect to be able to restand to attack again. So in one turn, you can attack 3 times with just him. And imagine if you had other jammers on the field. Like, I personally never had that experience because most of the time, if you have a jammer, except this one, they usually try to kill it immediately. I mean, they'll try to kill this immediately too, but the other ones are a lot easier because they're lower in CP, or CP, DP, way lower in DP, so it's easier to take them out, except him because he's a beefy 12K. Yeah, you can't complain. It's just a great card. It's great. It works really well, and so its play cost is, or its Digi Evolution cost is 5 for green or blue. But the ability that he also has is if you are Digivolving over a Pyoldramon or a Dino B, which these two, his cost goes -2 and it goes to 3. So then he ends up being a 3 cost. So if you only run these guys, you're level 5, he's always just going to be a level 3 to evolve. So that's why you play these guys, because they're just good. With him, they work together well. That's the whole idea of the deck and why the cards were made that way. Next card, more on a defensive end card, and it is Puppetmon. Me and Puppetmon have such a love-hate relationship. It is absolutely ridiculous. So his on-play effect is when you on-play him, he costs 11 to play. You play him, he can freeze one of your Digimon so they can't, or your opponent's Digimon so they can't attack you. And anything that was already suspended can't unsuspend. So if you play him right, you could freeze a whole board, buy yourself a turn, and then you have a 10k on the field. And his also other ability, when attacking, gain a memory. So he provides a lot of, if they don't deal with him immediately, he's going to just consistently keep giving you memory. So he's a great card, but if you play him wrong, you will lose. He's very, you want to play him last resort. He's like your, all right, throw him down, hope for the best type deal. I say love-hate relationship because we have gone through the ringer together. I have played him and lost and lost and lost, borderline about to get rid of him. And another spoiler, I used him during the tournament for 1 game, and he won me solely 2 rounds in a row. He was the reason I won. Genuinely like him in the deck. I'm going to keep him in the deck, but you have to get good at playing him, because if you don't play him right and you give him, because you're going to give a lot of memory. If you play him and you don't play it right, you give your opponent a lot to work with. And if you're like an example of why you would not use him, if I was playing another Imperialdramon deck and I used him, I could freeze their whole board, great. But then they play an Imperialdramon, restand everything with jamming again, so it doesn't matter. So he's a great card, you just have to use him right. And the alt art for Imperialdramon is sick. It's just a cool art. I like running one alt art because it looks cool when you play him. He's the cool version. So next we're gonna do Tamers. I play 3 of the Davis Moto. I don't even want to attempt to pronounce that because I'm terrible at it. But he's a memory tamer. So at the start of every turn, he's gonna put you to 3. And if you were paying attention, Imperialdramon evolves for 3, Pyoldramon, Dino B evolve for 3. He is a must. You got to get him if you want to do the wombo combos and take out 3 security in 1 turn. You're going to need him because he's going to guarantee every turn you get to 3 memory, so you can at least do that. Also, his on-play effect is when you play him, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and if it's a blue Digimon or a green Digimon, you get to take 1 of both. So if you flip up and you get Imperialdramon Dragon Mode, Dino B, and then a Pyoldramon, you could take the Imperialdramon and the Dino B. You can only pick 1 green and 1 blue, but you can get up to 2 cards. That's like what you want. But it doesn't work for options, it's literally just Digimon. But most of the time when you play a lot of Digimon, so you usually get at least 1 card. I've never done it and got none. I normally don't like cards like this. You play it, you look at your top 3, you pick 1, because it's not guaranteed, and sometimes your really cards you could really need don't fit the criteria of what you're searching for, and then they go to the bottom, and it really does just ruin your momentum and how you're playing, because then they know, because you have to show your opponent, so they know exactly what you put to the bottom, so then they play accordingly on you. Like example that comes to mind is Togemon. He's a green card. He when digivolving, look at the top 3 cards, take anything I think 5 or higher, which is great. But if you do it and get all level 3s, then you know all your level 3s at the bottom if you needed them. I don't know, and it's especially with green. Complete side note, but green, all their level 4s are pretty much a 1 to evolve. So one that's a 2 to evolve, kinda. I don't know. The only reason I really like this one is because it also gives the benefit of they can't get rid of it, and it always will give you 3 memory. So that's why I like this version of the searching better than normal. Last but not least, we are going to play the option cards. If you're playing blue, you're playing for Hammer Spark. It's just a great card. It's literally 0 to play, gain a memory. And if it's in security, you gain 2 memory. So a good move to play is always try to put your opponent at 1 memory. So if they attack and hit it in security, it goes to your turn immediately. And if you have Davis, you always go to 3. So it's just great. If you're playing blue, you're going to play 4 of it. If you don't play 4 of it and you're playing blue, you're absolutely bonkers. I wouldn't, it's just good. It's like playing red and not using Gaia Force. It's just a thing you do. They just go together. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Next card, this one, a bit of a spicy move. Oh, not really, okay, not spicy. It's very common when it comes to Imperialdramon, but you're going to play Positron Laser. So, you know how I said the Shakumon, I like it, but I kind of don't. It's not very useful. Well, I recently, if you don't know, I stream on Twitch at Tamer Ty. Go check it out. I go live. I don't have a schedule yet. I'm attempting to try to do every Tuesday, make it like TCG Tuesdays. But I replaced in the last stream I did. I'll put the link to my Twitch channel down below. But the last stream, I switched the Shakumon with Cocytus Breath. Cocytus Breath is just a removal card. Just gets rid of. If I don't like it, get rid of it. It's not as good as Gaia Force. It just brings it back to hand. But a lot of people, sorry, that was a ramble. But back to Positron Laser. His effect, or this card's effect, is 2 of your Digimon. If I play it, 2 of your opponents can't attack or block for the next turn until your opponent's next turn. So that's good because it slows down play. But the also little spiciness to it is if you have a blue Digimon on field as well, you can then bounce and send a suspended card back to your opponent. So say they are attacking with their big beefy boy, you can send it back to their hand. It's not as good as removing it entirely, but that's the best you're going to do with blue. Blue doesn't really ever remove unless you're killing it, but like attacking it. But it's a good card. And also with the ruling of Digimon, you have to have a green Digimon or Tamer card out on the field somewhere to use this card because he's green. You've made him to play blue. So most of the time you're digivolving to get to Dino B so you could use him. Or when you pop him on, then next turn you could also do this and then get rid of stuff too. It works better than you think. Originally, when I started the deck, I put a lot of level 3 green in. So actually, when I first made the deck, I added actually Auroramon. He is a 2 to play 5,000 card. He's honestly a tank, a beast of a card. He's just a great card. You can't beat it. 2 to play for 5,000. He survives against Volcanodramon. He's just a good rookie. But I had him in this deck, but then a lot of times when I was playing, I would get him in hand, I'd play him, and I wouldn't need Positron Laser. So he'd just be sitting in my hand. And I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do now? And then he just kind of sits there. Oh, what I do is just take out if their little stuff is, if it survives security, that's what I do with it, or attack security with it. But sometimes I needed to do some Digi-Evolution to get some cards, because maybe I bricked bad hand. So he kind of just sat there. I don't know. Part of me was like, I'm gonna take him out, see how it goes. And it ended up being, when I needed Positron Laser, I was able to get to a Dino B to play it. So it wasn't a huge issue, but sometimes, you know, there was games where I could have got it out. I'm like, oh, I wish I could have got it out. But, you know, that's the way the card games work. You know, sometimes you're not going to get, you know, exactly what you need when you need it. You just got to work with what you got. There's cards that a lot of people also add into this deck. It's called Omnimon. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's just kind of like this, like, you know, it's not really a popular card. I mean, I heard it's like selling for a decent amount of money. I mean, like, but you know, you have a better chance of hitting the lottery than making money off that card. No, he's the big anime guy. Everyone likes him. He's cool. He's a mix of two Digimon together, and his cards are expensive, but damn, they're good, all of them. So what the one that would work in this deck does is when you Digivolve into him, you can attack, and then you can unsuspend him by taking the level 6 underneath him and bring it into your hand. He's a level 7. That is absolutely amazing, because if you get into sometimes you don't get the Imperialdramon. You don't get that good inheritable one. You have to use Dino B. So what you can do is you can play him, attack with him, and then you can Omnimon. Okay, so you can evolve the suspended Imperialdramon into an Omnimon. Omnimon's effect also, when Digivolving, delete everything with the same name. So you just say, okay, delete all the whatever. Say they're playing green, and they're like, take all the Sarismon out. So it will just delete all the Sarismon. They'll go into the trash, I believe. I hope I'm right there, but it deletes whatever with the same name. I know that for sure. I can't remember if it has a specific level gap. If it doesn't, then I'll put right here if it does, and because I don't have the card on hand because it's expensive as shit. He's a great addition to this card, but you don't want this deck, but you don't want to play a lot of them. Maybe one. He's also, 15k, so he's big. So if he's in your security, he's pretty much going to kill everything. So also great. He's like a removal. He is great for this deck. He's a great tech card because he actually plays into the whole appeal of the deck. Attack a lot in one turn and get rid of things. So he can attack, and then you can bounce the Imperialdramon back into your hand, and then he'll restand. You can attack again. So you can attack with him twice at 15k. It's great. And then if you get a Imperialdramon in your hand, you can evolve into him, and then use the Dino, or use the Imperialdramon on top of him, and then get that bonus effect, so you can attack 3 times in one turn. That's why it's just great. It's a great synergy. They work really well together. I'm not sure how well it's gonna play out in the new set coming out next month, but for right now, Omnimon's great in this deck, but you don't want to play a lot of it. Maybe 1, maybe 2. I would say definitely 1, maybe 2. I was going to tell you how the tournament went and how did it go. Well, let me tell you. So game 1 I played. It was a round robin tournament, so I played 5 rounds. The first round I played against another Imperialdramon deck. And played a mirror match. First round. Never done that before, so it was my first time. How did that go? Well, I 2-0'd him. But what sounds like he didn't play bad. He was a great player. Actually, me and him were tied for 3rd and 4th, but because I beat him, I came into 3rd. So we finished the same. He did not have 2 good hands. The first game, he said he drew, his starting hand had 2 Imperialdramons, no level 3s, only level 5s, an Imperialdramon, and then he drew an Omnimon out of hand. So by that point, I had good hands. So I was already attacking him. So he already didn't have a lot of security and wasn't getting anything to really bring out to attack me without giving me a whole ton of memory. Also, my security did me so well. The first security he checked, the one game, Positron Laser, bounced one of his guys. Second game, he only attacked me, I think, maybe 3 times total. But the second time he attacked me in the second game, he got a Hammer Spark, shot over to my turn, I won that next turn. So my security was great and my hand was good. So that was a big reason why I did so well against him. But, that goes to show you, this deck can brick. You can get a really shitty hand and then it's hard to really come back from it. Especially if you're playing against someone just as aggressive as they are. If you're playing a slow deck, you possibly could, but the whole appeal of it is you want to go in quick and go hard. Game 2, I went 2-1, and I played against a big black blocker deck. He beat me first round, and it was, I didn't have a good starting hand, so I was slower, and he was able to get his blockers out and then make it so I couldn't take them out or swing over them. So it kind of made it where it was very hard to really do anything. The only way I actually got any security attacks against him was because of Positron Laser. The absolute only reason. I'd use that card and then I attacked as much as I could. but I couldn't win game from that. So he beat me first round. Second two, after that, I won both games after. He had bad starts. Also, I had good starts, so I attacked quick. I was going fast. I did the whole VMon, the 2 VMon play. You play 2 VMon. You just do one in your raising area. So you do one in your raising area, one, you play it out, turn 3, put in the 3. They give you whatever. If they give you at least 2, you can make this play work. And then you attack with both of them so do 2 security checks. Then you do 1 X VMon, restand the 1, attack again. So you get 3 attacks in 1 turn. That's the main play you want to do when it comes to the X VMon and the VMon trick. But you can really do that with the Frigimon as well. It's up to you. I had good starting hands. I attacked fast, and that's how I won. And I did the same thing with the Positron Laser, but I used that to finish the game. Game 3 is when the tournament started kind of going downhill for me a little bit. I played a Shine Greymon deck, and he beat me. Oh, I went 0-2 against him. He was good. He was a good player. He played it right. He did what he needed to do to get his tamers out, and then he waited till I took him down to no security, and then he shined me, and I had no way to come back from it. Beat me the same way both games. You think I would have learned, but I didn't. Things I could take from it is keeping something in the raising area until it's ready to swing like a motherfucker. That is the only thing I think you really can do against him, and attack quick. If you can take him out before he gets his tamers out, then you're golden. Yeah, actually in my stream I did last night, again, link down in the bio. I played a Shine deck, and we went 3 rounds. I beat him in the first round, he beat me the second, I beat him in the third. And it was because I used that strategy of attacking fast and then also leaving something in the raising area, just so if I get him down to 0, I can bring it up and do a final kill. Mainly, that's what the plan was. I think I did well, and I also think the guy didn't get his Shine at one point, so didn't help him out at all, but I digress. We'll go into game 4. Game 4, I played another big black blocker, and my god, I hate those decks. They're great, they look like they're fun to play, but man, it sucks when you're playing with this deck. Sucks, because they can't attack over anything. So you have to go quick before he gets blockers out, or you're screwed. And this one, so the difference between game 2 and game 4 is game 2, the guy did not have a full deck. He did not have everything he needed, every card he needed. So there were some holes in his strategy. This guy, game 4, he was ready to go. He did not give a shit. He had it all. He had Alter S, Omnimon Alter S, which, great card. He had Ceresmon, he had all of his tamers. He had everything he needed. He just whooped me. He made it to where I couldn't attack, and then he just waited and then beat me. He did it both times. I wasn't getting the Positron I needed to be able to do some swings, but even if I did, he still had like 8 blockers, and he had so much, he has a lot going for him, so it was hard to fight him. But the 2 I lost to came in first and second, which, makes sense. But game 5, final game. So I'm going into this, I won 2 in a row, lost 2 in a row. What's gonna happen for the 5th game? I was talking with people throughout the tournament. I knew what he was playing. He was playing Red Omni. I 2-0'd him. It was actually a very quick game. Honestly, it probably took for both 2 games thoroughly with shuffling, everything, probably took 20 minutes for both games. They were very quick. Why? Got the right hand. I got the hand, I was able to attack quick, and then, like I said, I puppet monned him. So he was able, I was choking him with memory, so he was only able to get 1 big dude out by the time I was ready to win the game. So, puppet monned him. He had no cards to really build off of it. My deck, I think, favors against his pretty well. So, and when I say Red Omni, I didn't explain this. You know how I said an Omnimon for this deck would work really well? They're the same card. That Omnimon can go from a red or a blue. So it's a lot of times played in either. It's just a good card. Honestly, if you can get an Omnimon in any deck, it's worth it, because it's just, they're always good. They're always going to make him good. He's like the Charizard of this game. So I had strong starting hand. He had a slower hand. And I really didn't actually play the full Imperialdramon idea. I actually did a lot of Rookie Rush against him. I had the cards. He had nothing to really attack me. He wasn't getting a Volcanotramon. I just was bringing these fuckers out, and I was swinging at him. So it just didn't really work out for him. But he was a cool dude, great guy. Honestly, everyone in the tournament was fantastic. That's how the whole tournament went. It was just a really cool experience to play. Yes, it wasn't very big. It was only 6 people. But round robin, you're playing 5 rounds. That's almost more than what you would play even in a 16 round or 16 people tournament. There was a prize pool for this because it was like, you guys are here, you're ready to play. We appreciate that. We'll give you guys some packs. It was first and second, so sadly, I got nothing but experience. But it was a ton of fun. All the people were cool. Everyone was great. I added all of them. We're all probably gonna play again at some point. But yeah, for the first tournament, did really well. But overall, the thing I think my deck was lacking in this tournament was removal. I wasn't able to take out anything if it was there, and that's why I recently added Cocytus Breath. It's just a removal card. It's good to have one. If I don't know if I want to put the money into an Omnimon, but if I pull an Omnimon, 100% going in this deck rather than this, because it can remove better and remove more for cheaper. So that was the deck list. That was how the tournament went. If you enjoyed this type of content, give it a like, subscribe if you're new. This is a really fun card game, and I really enjoy it, and I'm going to constantly be playing it because it's just fun. And if you want more deck lists in the future, because I do have another deck that I play, I haven't played it in anything. I just figured this one I went to a tournament with, so I'll talk about it. But yeah, if you have any questions, or if you ever want to play me, hit me up on Twitch. You can then just hit me up, and then if I'm streaming and you want to play me, just put in the comments, hey, can I get next game? And I'll say sure, meet me here, and we'll play. It'll be fun. So yeah, if you're new, subscribe, because it's worth it. 100%. Bang bang. Yep, I guess I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Peace.